One of the most important things you should do before you buy a piece of property is to ask the right question, because asking the right questions is going to reveal some important information about the property you are about to buy, and this is going to aid you to determine whether or not you should proceed with that transaction. If you want to buy a land in my city, Port Harcourt, there are 5 important questions that you should be asking, and I must tell you that if you ask these questions and you are not able to get a definite answer after asking this question, then it is safe if you walk away, because you might end up buying a property that you will later have a dispute, or you might end up buying a property that you will later lose. So in this video, I'm going to be revealing 5 important questions that you must ask before you buy a property in Port Harcourt. In case you're meeting me for the first time, my name is Kristas. I'm a real estate consultant based in the city of Port Harcourt, and my job is to assist you in making the best and the right real estate investment. And on this YouTube channel, I educate, inform, and enlighten everybody that is interested in investing in real estate on everything that they need to know before they invest in real estate. When it comes to land banking, investment, rental property, the pros and cons, the scams, and everything you need to know about real estate, I treat each and every one of them on this channel. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back to our channel. We're celebrating. We're happy that you always come back to watch our videos. And if you are new to this channel, please join this family by subscribing to our channel. Click on the bell notification so you'll be notified when we post new videos, and also do where to give this video a thumbs up. The first question you should ask before you buy a land in Port Harcourt is the land in a flood prone or a waterlogged land? If you're not in Port Harcourt, you may not understand what we are talking about in Port Harcourt here, because in Port Harcourt, as I speak to you, this is September 2023 and we are in the rainy season. As I speak to you right now in the city of Port Harcourt, there are a lot of people that are not living in their houses. Why? It is as a result of flood. There are a lot of people that whenever it rains heavily, they cannot sleep in their houses. There are a lot of people that whenever it rains heavily, they will have to use buckets to lift their bed before they can sleep on top. Why? Because they are living in waterlogged areas, and whenever it rains heavily, their houses is going to be submerged with water. I remember as a young adult growing up in the city of Port Harcourt, I remember my first set of properties. I lost my first set of properties as a result of water. I just came back one day after I went to work. I came back and I saw that everywhere was filled with water because it rained heavily that day, and my whole electronics and everything that I have as a young adult, then I lost everything because the water was too much, and water have access into my house and it destroyed everything. So this is something that a lot of Port Harcourt residents are facing. A lot of people, they lose their properties as a result of too much rainfall, and if it rains heavily and you are living in a waterlogged area, then the situation might be a disastrous one. So it is best before you buy a property, ask if that property is in a waterlogged area, or if the property is in a waterlogged place, but then there is a channel through which that water can flow out, because there are places that are also waterlogged in Port Harcourt, but there is a good drainage system through which the water can flow out. If there is a good drainage system in an area that is waterlogged, then the water may not have an effect in that neighborhood. But if the drainage system is bad and it rains heavily, then it is sure going to destroy a lot of properties. So it is important you know what to expect even before you go ahead buying it. Of course, I'm not saying that buying property in a waterlogged land is bad. That is not what I'm saying. But if you are to buy in a waterlogged place, it is best you know on time, so you will know what to expect, because you need to fill it and you need to raise your DPC higher to avoid water having access into your property. The second question you should ask is the title of the property. The property you want to buy, what is the title to that property? Is it a deed of conveyance or is it a C of O? Secondly, the person who is selling the property to you, does he or she has legal title to that property? Because if a person is selling a property to you and he or she does not have a legal title to the property which they are selling to you, of course it is just a matter of time you might end up losing that property. So ensure that the person who is selling the property to you have a legal title to the property which they are selling to you before you go ahead with such kind of transaction. Next question you should ask is, are there any hidden charges? And this is largely dependent on who you are buying from. If you are buying from a real estate company or if you are buying from an individual. If you are buying from a real estate company, it is good you ask if there is any hidden charges. Apart from that money you are to pay for the land, is there any fee that you are supposed to pay or you are going to pay after? It is best you clarify this before you go ahead to buy a property, because there are some real estate companies that have hidden charges. There are some real estate companies that have development fee. So it is best you know all these things. If a land is selling for 10 million naira, after paying this 10 million naira, is there any other thing that you will need to pay? Because I've seen a situation whereby somebody will buy a land for 10 million naira and he's going to pay development fee of 5 million naira, which you don't even know if that person have that money. There are some people that they bought the property that they are buying with their last card. So telling such kind of person that they are going to pay development fee of 5 million naira after paying 10 million naira is really ridiculous. So it is important you clarify this. If you pay social amount of money for this property, if there's any other thing you need to pay. Now if you're buying from an individual, you need to clarify if there are other associated costs that you need to pay. Of course, in Port Harcourt here, there's what we call bush entry. That's what we call bush entry. If you want to buy a property, they will ask you to bring bush entry. So it is important you know if you are going to pay bush entry. In some places in Port Harcourt, if you want to buy a plot of land, bush entry is 50,000. 2 plots of land, they will tell you it's 100,000. So you know if you are to pay bush entry. Also, agent fee. How much is the agent fee? Also, money for surveyor, that's to survey the property, how much is it? So make sure you sort out all these associated costs before you know whether or not you can buy the property. The reason why it is very important you clear all these associated costs is to know if you can actually afford the property that you are going for. Because it's possible that you want to buy a property and maybe all you have in your account is 6 million naira and the property is selling for, like, let's say 5.8 million naira, and you find out that what you have in your account cannot clear all of this. When you look into the agency, we talk about the survey plan, and also if they ask you to bring bush entry, talk about all of that. So it is best you factor all of this to know if what you have will take care of all of this before you know whether or not you are to proceed with that transaction. The next question that you must ask before you buy a property in Port Harcourt is the location of the property. What is the location of that property that you want to buy? Is the property in a desirable location? And before you even know whether the property is in a desirable location, it is important to look into 2 things, which is 1, the purpose for which you're buying the property, and secondly, what is important to you when you are buying that property. Firstly, the purpose for which you are buying the property. Are you buying that property so you can lease it out, so you can build a rental apartment, or it is a place where you are going to live? If it is a place where you are going to live with your family, then you are going to consider the next thing, which is what is important to you, which might be maybe a shopping area, maybe is the place close to the airport, is the place in close proximity to your church, is it in close proximity to your working place or your business area. These are some of the things that are important to every individual. So it is important you factor this out. You factor the location. If the location will correspond with what you want to do with the property, and also if the location will correspond with that which is important to you, be it your working place or your place of worship or a place where you can go to hang out or do some recreational activities. The last important question you should ask before you buy a land in Port Harcourt, which I think is the most important one, is this: is the land under any form of encumbrance? Is the land under any form of encumbrance, either from the government or from the community? Is the land under any form of dispute? are there some zoning regulations on the property which you want to buy? Because if you are buying a land that is under encumbrance, maybe it's a land that is committed, a land which is under acquisition from the government, it is so certain that it's in just a matter of time the government will take back what belongs to them. Also, the land is under encumbrance from the community is also a red flag, because you don't know if two communities are dragging that property. You don't know if the community is dragging the property with the person that sold the property to you. If the community is saying that this person did not finish paying us for this property, or the community is saying that this property that is occupied by this person was not sold to him. So it is important you know if there is any form of encumbrance on that property you want to buy, be it a court dispute, because if it is a court dispute, then the fate of the buyer will be depending on the court judgment. If the court give the property to the person that did not sell the property to you, of course you are losing the property. Secondly, if there is any zoning regulation, because there are some places that are zoned primarily for agricultural purposes, and if you are buying a property in such kind of places that is zoned for agricultural purposes, then that thing which you want to use the property for, if maybe what you want to use it for is different from what the property is zoned for, then you might discover that when you want to develop or when you want to do what you want to do in that property, you will be unable to do that. Why? Because it does not tally with the zoning regulation of that place. So these are 5 important questions that you must ask before you buy any property in Port Harcourt. And if you ask this question, make sure you have a definite answers to these questions. If you have learned something new from this video, please let me know in the comment section. You can drop a comment in the comment section. If you have any question that you want to ask, I will be free to answer any question that I see in the comment section. Go ahead and ask your questions in the comment section, and I am going to attend to them. If you have gotten value from this video, please do us the favor of giving a thumbs up to this video and subscribe to our channel to help the growth of our channel, and turn on the bell notification so you'll be notified when we post new videos. Till I come your way next time, my name is Kristas Properties.